Hi, this is Scott Gietler from Bluewater Photo, and today we are going to talk about a new housing for the Sony A6300 mirrorless camera from Nauticam. This is one of the several housings that you can get for the A6300, but it also happens to be one of the nicest housings. It's small, the controls are very ergonomic, it's light, it's made of aluminum, fits in my hand very nicely, and I'm going to go through some of the features of this housing. First thing I'm going to show you is the nice port system from Nauticam. If you want to take a port off and put it on, you do not have to rotate the port. You simply unlock the port, pull it off. When you have a new port to put on, you put the port on and you lock it. Do note that the housing does not ship with a port, it just ships with this big hole. So if you don't want lots of wet, salty water pouring into your camera, make sure you also get a port with this housing. This housing also comes with two fiber optic bulkheads, so you can just pop up the flash inside the housing and fire your strobes with the fiber optics. It has a cold shoe mount, so you can mount a video light on top or focus light on top of the housing, and there's also a M10 ball mount, so you can also secure a ball mount here, so you could have a light and something like a GoPro on top of your housing if you wanted, although they're very close together, so I'm not sure how well that would exactly work, but you do have a choice between the two mounts. Another nice feature of this housing is it comes with two bulkheads. So one of these bulkheads can be used for the optional vacuum check system, which I highly recommend. It's really nice, and you will be able to pump your housing, create a vacuum, the light turns green, and if it stays green, that means your housing is safe to dive with, it's keeping the vacuum. The other bulkhead can be used for an optional HDMI monitor for your video, or it can be also used for a sync cord in case you want to shoot a little bit faster than using fiber optics allows you to shoot with, because the Sony A6300 isn't the very fastest camera in the world in terms of recycling its flash. So you will find that you may be able to shoot a little faster with electronic sync cords, but I think for most people you'll be fine with fiber optics, and that's what I would recommend the majority of the time. It's just a lot less hassle. I do cover lens selection in my video review for the Sony A6300 camera and on the website, but I will talk about it briefly. The Sony 90mm macro lens is a very great high-end option for macro, super macro, and small fish. You have an option to get the camera with a 16 to 50mm kit lens, which is a nice mid-range lens. You can get a nice macro lens like the Bluewater Plus7 to get some good macro with this lens, or you can get the Nauticam wet wide-angle lens, which is a very nice zoom-through wide-angle lens, and you can have a wet wide-angle solution, so you can actually shoot macro and wide-angle on one dive with this setup, which is really nice. There's the Sony 10 to 18 wide-angle lens for sharks and pelagics and pool work, and what I have on the Sony camera now is a 16mm prime f2.8 lens, and this fisheye conversion lens, which I really like, actually just pops right on, and now you have an inexpensive light fisheye solution, which I recommend. So let's talk about getting the camera inside the housing. So the housing is quite easy to open. I really like the secure port locking system. The housing lock system of this housing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this port cap off, and this housing comes with a camera tray, and when you put the camera tray on, it's very easy to go on, but just remember that you need to lift this LCD screen up a little bit in order to get it on the tray. you put the tray inside the housing, and you listen for a click. There we go, it clicked, and now it's locked in very tight and secure. You close it up, and I turn it on. There we go. Now all the controls work very nicely. The rear control dial, the top control dial, all the buttons on this housing are really nicely placed. I have full access to everything. I have a really nice zoom knob here for zooming my lenses. The video buttons right by my thumb. All the custom buttons you can set. So it's a very ergonomic housing for being able to have full control over your camera. A couple really nice options for this housing that differentiates it from the competition is the optional vacuum check system, which I talked about. This housing also comes with a shutter trigger that works with the Nauticam Flexi tray. And what that is instead of having to push down on the shutter here, like that, you can actually operate the shutter from the handle, which is the way that I prefer to do it. And that is actually included in the cost of the housing, which is really nice. So overall, I highly recommend this housing, whether you get some additional lenses or shoot video or go with the wet wide-angle solution. I think you're going to be very happy and get some very high-end results. If you have any questions on options, accessories, configuration, port options, larger ports for split shots, feel free to call us, or you can email me at Scott, SCOTT, at bluewaterphotostore.com. And thank you so much for watching our video on the Nauticam A6300 housing.